What is up, everybody? JT Dangerously here once again. I am here to do my WrestleMania 38 2022 predictions. Now, WrestleMania 38 happens this Saturday and this Sunday live on Peacock from AT&T Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys, the Jerry Dome, the Big D, Dallas, Texas. Now, this card for WrestleMania 38 from AT&T Stadium this year is pretty loaded and stacked from top to bottom. Now, as of right now, we have a combined 11 matches on the card. 6 titles will be on the line, and by the end of the night, we will have an undisputed Universal WWE Champion. So I am extremely excited to do my WrestleMania 38 predictions for you guys this year. This is definitely going to be a long video because we got a ton of WrestleMania dangerous facts, and I'll be predicting both shows in this one video. And it's also our first WrestleMania pay-per-view prediction on the channel since WrestleMania 35 all the way back in 2019. So sit back, relax, grab something to drink and eat, and I hope you guys do enjoy. Now, our record coming into WrestleMania 38 this year after our last WWE pay-per-view, which was the Royal Rumble all the way back in January in St. Louis, we went 4-2. So our overall record coming in is 265, 119, and 1. So we're coming in extremely hot, and I'm looking to keep it that way. So hoping this video we will continue the winning ways. We're on a 13 pay-per-view winning streak. Hoping this video we will extend this winning streak and make it 14 in a row. Hopefully. Now, this is the final video in the month of March, so hopefully you guys will be able to watch this video and all the fantastic videos we got on deck on the channel in 2022 this year. And as always, sure to support the channel as always, guys, by watching these videos, super kicking those like buttons, hitting that notification bell, and commenting your picks and your opinions in the comment sections down below. Now, if this is your first time watching my channel today, guys, as a first-time viewer, and this is your first video, boy, big to go. And if you're a huge fan of the WWE like myself, and you're ready for WWE's granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania 38, from AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas. Welcome to the Dangerous Alliance. I'm JT Dangerously. Welcome to the club, because this club is just two. Whoop whoop! Again, thank you guys so very much. Now, other than that, let's get right into these predictions. Now, if they do add any other matches to this card, which is almost a guarantee that they will by this week, I'll have them all in the comment section down below. But I'm going to do the 11 fantastic matches that have already been determined. Let's start off with the first matchup. It is a triple threat match for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Starting off with the challengers. First, they are former NXT Tag Team Champions, former Smackdown Tag Team Champions, and former Raw Tag Team Champions. They are the team of Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. They are the Street Profits. Next, they are also former Raw Tag Team Champions looking to regain the titles here. They are the team of Otis and Chad Gable. They are the Alpha Academy. And the Street Profits and the Alpha Academy are challenging the 87th and reigning and defending two-time Raw Tag Team Champions, the team of Matt Riddle and the Legend Killer, the Viper Randy Orton. They are RK Bros. Now, this is a huge opportunity for both the Street Profits and the Alpha Academy, a chance to walk out the new Raw Tag Team Champions. And it's been around 2 years since the Street Profits have held the Raw Tag Team title since WrestleMania 36. And the Alpha Academy is looking to regain the belts that they lost in that triple threat match on Monday Night Raw on March 7th. And history at WrestleMania makes these two challenging tag teams the heavy favorites. Their side, you have the RK Bros looking to start their second reign as the Raw Tag Team Champions, and they're looking to make their first title defense on pay-per-view a successful one. But history at WrestleMania makes the RK Bros the heavy underdogs. Now, here's a WrestleMania dangerous fact. The Raw Tag Team titles have been defended 6 times at WrestleMania. The titles have changed hands 4 times. Raw Tag Team Champions here at WrestleMania are 1 and 4. Now, the last Raw Tag Team Champions to successfully defend the Raw Tag Team titles at WrestleMania were the Street Profits back at WrestleMania 36 in 2020. And the last time the Raw Tag Team titles changed hands at WrestleMania was the night at WrestleMania 33 when the Hardys won that fatal 4-way ladder match. So coming from me in this triple threat match for the Raw Tag Team titles, I wouldn't mind the Street Profits winning this. I wouldn't mind the Alpha Academy winning this. But coming from me, I am going to go with RK Bros to retain the Raw Tag Team titles by any means and defeat the Alpha Academy and the Street Profits. And now, next matchup. It is a tag team showdown. On one side, you have the team of the former 2-time WWE Champion, a Grand Slam winner, the A-lister The Miz, and his partner making his WrestleMania wrestling debut. He is the YouTube sensation Logan Paul. And their opponents are former and first ever father-son Smackdown Tag Team Champions, the team of Dominic Mysterio, and the 2K22 cover boy, the master of the 619, Rey Mysterio. So coming from me in this tag team matchup, This may be our best chance to see somebody kick Logan Paul's ass and actually do it for real. And he's not going to be able to pay somebody to take a dive for him to look good. He's going to get his ass handed to him. And the fact that Logan Paul is going to be in 2K22 as a downloadable content, another chance for us fans to beat the hell out of that loser from YouTube. And the fact that The Miz is affiliated with him, and we all know Miz is all about himself. If they lose this match, he'll just blame Logan Paul and not blame himself. And we all saw what he did last week on Monday Night Raw, taking off Rey Mysterio's mask, and a lot of people have not done that. And the way he did it was just so flat out disrespectful. And I feel bad for Dominic and Rey Mysterio have to deal with these two clowns. So coming from me, I'm going to go with Dominic and Rey Mysterio to get it done here and defeat these so-called A-listers, The Miz and Logan Paul, by any means. And now the next matchup. It is a fatal four-way match for the long-forgotten WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Starting off with the challengers. First, they are the put-together tag team of two former SmackDown Women's Champions, the team of Naomi and the legit boss, Sasha Banks. Next, you have another put-together tag team of Liv Morgan and the former Raw Women's Champion, the Nightmare Queen, Rhea Ripley. Next, you have another put-together tag team, the team of the Queen of Hearts, Natalya, and the Submission Magician, Shayna Baszler. And all three of these put-together tag teams are challenging the 12th reigning and defending and the long-forgotten WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, the team of Queen Selena and Carmella. Now, for me, this women's tag team division in the WWE is a complete joke. I mean, these belts are almost long forgotten. Sure, Zelina and Carmella have been the champions since November 22nd of last year. This is only their second title defense, but they haven't even defended the titles enough to care. And the fact that Naomi and Sasha brought it up, it's almost like, oh wait, we still have these belts and we're just not using them. And it just feels like another attempt to try to make these belts relevant when they're obviously not relevant. So, coming from me in this fatal four-way match for the long-forgotten WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, there's a chance Selena and Carmella can walk out still the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, but out of these three put-together tag teams, I think the only team that I think should win is going to be Sasha and Naomi, because Sasha needs a win at WrestleMania. Remember, folks, she is still winless at WrestleMania. So if she can get her first win here, why not? So coming from me, I'm going to go with the team of Sasha Banks and Naomi to become the new and hopefully not soon forgotten WWE Women's Tag Team Champions and defeat Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, Shayna and Natalya, and Queen Selena and Carmella. And now next matchup. It is an anything goes grudge match on one side. He is the star of the hit television series Jackass, as well as the famous movies like Jackass, Jackass 2, Jackass 3, and his newest movie Jackass Forever, and also Bad Grandpa. He is the very talented yet crazy son of a bitch, Johnny Knoxville. And his opponent is the former two-time PWG champion, a former 5-time PWG Tag Team Champion, a former Ring of Honor Television Champion, a former Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion, a former NXT Champion, and the former 3-time Intercontinental Champion. He is the master strategist, yet the paranoid one, Sami Zayn. Now, this thing has been going on since the Royal Rumble, and it really intensified a couple weeks ago when Johnny Knoxville put Sami Zayn's number across the world, and they blew up Sami Zayn's phone like no other. And he also did it, I think, this past weekend, telling WWE to call Sami and tell him that this is going to be his last match. So it's been going back and forth with these two, but this is an anything goes match. So you know some crazy stuff is going to happen when it comes to Johnny Knoxville. If you've seen the Jackass films, you may see some of the craziest, wildest things in this match alone. But this match is also big for Sami Zayn because it was Johnny Knoxville who cost him the Intercontinental title to Ricochet. So this matchup could definitely get him, finally get him away from being paranoid and being, crazy. He can get back to what he used to do and being one of the best in the biz, other than being a comical joke. So coming from me in this anything goes grudge match, with this match being anything goes, I am going to go with Jackass and Bad Grandpa star Johnny Knoxville to get it done here and defeat Sami Zayn by any means in an anything goes war. And our next matchup, it is a one-on-one showdown. On one side, Making his WrestleMania wrestling debut, he is a former Pro Bowl punter for the Indianapolis Colts, and he is a host of his own show. He is one half of the Smackdown commentary team with Michael Cole. He is the very talented Pat McAfee. And his opponent is Mr. McMahon's newest pet project. He is the brash and arrogant Austin Theory. Now, this whole thing started on the episode of the Pat McAfee show when he had Vince McMahon on, and Vince McMahon gave him an opportunity to wrestle at WrestleMania, which is Pat McAfee's biggest dream as a longtime WWE fan. But the question was, who was Pat McAfee going to face against at WrestleMania? And we found out it was going to be Mr. McMahon's pet project, Austin Theory, the braggadocious one, with the selfies and all of that. But this matchup is definitely big for Austin Theory, a chance to prove to Mr. McMahon that he is the future. He has gotten big wins since being aligned with Mr. McMahon, and I've heard rumors that Vince could be in his corner, possibly, or be involved in this match. But for me, this is a maker or breaker match for Theory. This is his first WrestleMania as a single star. It's also Pat McAfee's first match on the main roster. But we all remember his match with Adam Cole in NXT. He really opened some eyes that a lot of people thought he was all talk, and he was just more of a trash talker than a wrestler. But he proved a lot of people wrong on that night. Even though he lost that match to Cole, he got some eyes looking at him. But this match is definitely big for Pat McAfee, and a chance for somebody to finally shut up that selfie protege for Mr. McMahon, his little bitch boy, Austin Theory. So coming from me in this one-on-one showdown, I will have to admit I'm not a big fan of Austin Theory. I think he's just the Grayson Waller of Raw. You have to know Grayson Waller for NXT 2.0, all about getting the Instagram followers, the Snapchat. He's just this, Austin Theory is just that same person. But again, if I'm hating him, he's doing his job as a heel. So coming from me, I am going to go with the talented Pat McAfee to get it done here and defeat Austin Theory by any means. And now next matchup, it is another one-on-one showdown. On one side, he'll be accompanied by his hype man, Madcap Moss. He is looking to continue his undefeated streak. He is the undefeated Happy Corbin. And his opponent is the former two-time WWE Champion. He is the Smackdown Scottish Warrior, the Chosen One, Drew McIntyre. Now this thing all came back, this matchup was set up all the way back at day one on January the 1st, where Drew McIntyre defeated Happy Corbin, in which after the match during an interview, Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss was trying to take McIntyre out by going after his neck, which he was dealing with a neck injury at the time. But this match is definitely big for Happy Corbin. I mean, ever since he became Happy Corbin, he hasn't lost a one-on-one match. I mean, from the days of him being poor-ass, bum-ass Corbin to going to Vegas at SummerSlam last year and then becoming Happy Corbin and having a friend like Madcap Moss with some of the crappiest, cheesiest jokes you can think of. And the fact is, he has the most protected finisher in the WWE right now because nobody, and I repeat again, nobody is ever kicked out of Happy Corbin's end of days finisher, which is crazy to think that out of all the moves in the WWE, that move nobody's kicked out of, and he's looking to put the EOD on the Scottish Warrior. There's how you have Drew McIntyre looking to finally get his revenge against Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss. We all saw that match at Elimination Chamber where he nearly broke Madcap Moss's neck after that reverse Alabama slam. And since that day on day one in Atlanta, Drew McIntyre has been vowing revenge against Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss. But for me, this is such a downgrade to what he was last year. Think about it. Drew McIntyre was in the WWE title match last year against the almighty Bobby Lashley. And now 1 year later, he's fighting Happy Corbin at the biggest stage of them all, WrestleMania. It's definitely a downgrade, and hopefully after this match, Drew McIntyre can start setting his sights on becoming the undisputed Universal WWE Champion. So coming from me in this one-on-one showdown, do I think Drew McIntyre will kick out of Happy Corbin's end of days finisher? I think Drew will be the first to do it. And I think Drew McIntyre should win this match because he needs to get away from Happy Corbin and start going after the singles world title. So coming from me, I am going to go with the Chosen One, Drew McIntyre, to get it done here and defeat Happy Corbin by any means. 3, 2, 1, Claymore. And now next matchup. It is for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Starting off with the the challengers. They are looking to become the next SmackDown Tag Team Champions, consisting of the Freddie Mercury lookalike. He is Rick Boogs, and his partner is the former 3-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion, the former 5-time IWGP Intercontinental Champion, the former 2-time NXT Champion, the former 2-time United States Champion, the former 2-time Intercontinental Champion, the 2018 Royal Rumble winner, and a former SmackDown Tag Team Champion as well. And if you know his music back in New Japan Pro Wrestling, you'll know who I'm talking about. He is Shinsuke Nakamura, and Boogs and Nakamura are challenging the 26th and the longest reigning and defending 5-time SmackDown Tag Team Champions, representing the Bloodline. They're the ones, Jimmy and Jay, the Usos. Now, this is a huge opportunity for Boogs and Nakamura. They earned this opportunity a couple weeks ago on SmackDown when Rick Boogs defeated Jey Uso. And this is an opportunity for Boogs and Nakamura to become the next SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And history at WrestleMania makes them a slight favorite. But it's not a good, it's a very slight favorite. Their side, you have the Usos looking to continue their amazing run as the longest reigning SmackDown Tag Team Champions, and they're looking to make their 8th title defense a successful one. Now, the Usos have been the SmackDown Tag Team Champions since Money in the Bank all the way back in July. And they have taken on all comers, and history at WrestleMania makes them a slight favorite, because here is a WrestleMania dangerous fact. The SmackDown Tag Team titles have been defended 4 times at WrestleMania. The titles have only changed hands once. SmackDown Tag Team Champions here at WrestleMania are 2-1. Now, the last time the SmackDown Tag Team titles changed hands was all the way back at WrestleMania 34 in 2018, when the late great Brody Lee and Eric Redbeard won the tag team titles. And the last time the SmackDown Tag Team titles were successfully defended was at WrestleMania 36 in a triple threat singles ladder match with John Morrison and The Miz as the tag team champs. So, coming from me in this matchup for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, honestly, and I'm going to be brutally honest, I wish Nakamura was in the world title picture. Nakamura should have been easily a 2-time WWE champion by now, but the fact that he's tag teaming with a guy that WWE seems to be pushing more than Nakamura is just kind of frustrating as a Shinsuke Nakamura fan. But Rick Boogs is good. I mean, he's good on the air guitar. He's good on the guitar, let's be honest. He is great on the guitar. And he's good, but I wish they just pushed Nakamura more than him. I know he looks like Freddie Mercury, but push the guy who should have been WWE champion 2 times already. But coming from me, it's hard to pick against the Bloodline, especially with the Usos. And the Usos with the 1D, their new finisher, paying homage to Team 3D, Bubba Ray and Devon. It's going to take a very good tag team to knock them off, and I do not think it's Boogs and Nakamura. So coming from me, I am going to go with the Usos, we the ones, to retain the SmackDown Tag Team titles by any means and defeat Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. And now next matchup. It is a SummerSlam rematch, but this time it is for the Raw Women's Championship. Starting off with the challenger. She is the former SmackDown Women's Champion. She's looking now to become the next Raw Women's Champion. She is the EST of WWE. She is Bianca Belair. And Bianca Belair is challenging the 23rd and reigning and defending 2-time Raw Women's Champion. She is Big Time Becks, Becky Lynch. Now, this is the 3rd one-on-one meeting between Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch. The Becky Lynch has won the last 2 meetings over Bianca Belair, dating back to SummerSlam of last year, and her last meeting for the Raw Women's title on an episode of Monday Night Raw on November 1st of last year. So this time they're meeting for the first time since SummerSlam. Now, starting off with Bianca Belair first, a lot of people remember that SummerSlam night. I mean, she was the SmackDown Women's Champion after winning the title at WrestleMania, after winning the Rumble last year, only to have her title reign get completely cut at the knees by Becky Lynch. I mean, her losing the belt was such a stupid decision on WWE's part, nearly buried Bianca. But Bianca Belair has fought, scratched, and clawed to get another shot at the Raw Women's Championship after winning the Women's Elimination Chamber match at Elimination Chamber in Saudi Arabia. And history at WrestleMania makes Bianca Belair a heavy, heavy favorite. They're excited to have big-time Becks, Becky Lynch, looking to continue her reign as the Raw Women's Champion, and she's looking to make her 6th title defense a successful one. Now, the last time Becky Lynch defended the Raw Women's title was at Elimination Chamber in Saudi Arabia against a very game Lita. But for me, this is Becky Lynch's toughest and stiffest test in her 2nd reign as the Raw Women's Champion, because Bianca Belair is just doing things that make you say, oh my God. I mean, look what she has done with Piper Niven. I mean, picking her up, the size of Piper Niven, hitting that kiss of death on her, it's pretty amazing. And Becky Lynch definitely feels threatened. You saw it a couple weeks ago on Raw with the chair around Bianca Belair's throat and getting her injured. So you can tell Becky Lynch is fighting on like by any means mode. And she even said she'd sell her soul just to stay the Raw Women's Champion. And she definitely has. And she'll do whatever it takes to walk out still the Raw Women's Champion. But history at WrestleMania makes Big Time Becks a big time underdog. Because here is a WrestleMania dangerous fact. The Raw Women's title has been defended 7 times at WrestleMania. The title has changed hands 4 times. Raw Women's Champions here at WrestleMania are 2 and 4. And the last Raw Women's Champion to successfully defend her title at WrestleMania was Big Time Becks at WrestleMania 36 in 2020 before she went on a maternity leave. And the last time the Raw Women's title changed hands was last year at WrestleMania 37 when Rhea Ripley defeated Asuka. So coming from me in this SummerSlam rematch for the Raw Women's Championship, oh boy, this one's going to be good. I think this is going to be one of the best women's matchups on this show. No offense to Charlotte and Ronda, but Belair and Lynch has been a great story on Raw, but coming from me, I am going to go with the EST, Bianca Belair, to finally become the Raw Women's Champion and defeat Big Time Becks, Becky Lynch, in a banger. And now the next matchup. It is for the Smackdown Women's Championship. Starting off with the challenger. She is the 2022 Women's Royal Rumble winner, a former Raw Women's Champion, a former UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion, and the first woman in the UFC Hall of Fame, and she is looking to become the next SmackDown Women's Champion. She is the baddest woman on the planet. She is Rowdy Ronda Rousey. And Ronda Rousey is challenging the 21st and reigning and defending 6-time SmackDown Women's Champion. She is the queen herself, the opportunist. She is Charlotte Flair. Now, this is only the second one-on-one meeting between Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair. These two met all the way back at the Survivor Series in 2018, where Ronda Rousey won by disqualification after Charlotte lost her temper and used the kendo stick on her. So this is the much anticipated rematch here on the grandest stage of them all. Now, starting off with this year's Women's Royal Rumble winner, Ronda Rousey, she made a shocking return to the WWE and winning the Women's Royal Rumble match this year. And I know a lot of people did not like that decision, but it's an opportunity for Ronda Rousey to be the SmackDown Women's Champion for the first time, and she's looking to tap out the Queen in the biggest show of them all. And history at WrestleMania makes her a very heavy favorite as the Royal Rumble winner. Their side you have Charlotte Flair looking to continue her reign as the SmackDown Women's Champion, and she's looking to make her 3rd title defense a successful one. Now, Charlotte Flair has been the SmackDown Women's Champion since October when the women's titles were swapped. Becky with the Raw Women's title when she was the SmackDown had to switch it. And her last SmackDown Women's Championship title defense was all the way back in February of this year on SmackDown. But this is a big matchup for Charlotte Flair. A chance to knock off another Royal Rumble winner, because we all remember what happened with Asuka in 2018. Charlotte was the Women's Champion, and she denied Asuka a chance to win the SmackDown Women's Champion after winning the Rumble that year. So she's looking to make it 2 for 2 when it comes to stopping women Royal Rumble winners from defeating her and taking her title. But history at WrestleMania makes Charlotte Flair a heavy underdog, because here is another WrestleMania dangerous fact. The SmackDown Women's title has been defended 6 times at WrestleMania. The title has changed hands 3 times, but two of those title changes by SmackDown Women's Champions were lost by Rumble winners. Becky won in 2019, and Bianca won the SmackDown Women's title last year from Sasha. And the last SmackDown Women's Champion to successfully defend her title at WrestleMania was Bayley back at WrestleMania 36 2 years ago. So coming from me in this huge showdown for the SmackDown Women's Championship, I think this is a no-brainer pick. I think I am going to go with the baddest bitch on the planet, Ronda Rousey, to become the new SmackDown Women's Champion and defeat Charlotte Flair by submission. And now the next matchup, and this is the matchup I have been waiting for, and wrestling fans around the world have been waiting for. It is a one-on-one first ever meeting. On one side, he is a former 4-time WWE champion, a former 7-time World Heavyweight champion, a record-setting former 12-time Tag Team champion, a former 5-time Intercontinental champion, a 2-time Rumble winner, and a WWE Hall of Famer. He is the rated R superstar. He is Edge. And his opponent is a former PWG Heavyweight Champion. He was the former and first ever Ring of Honor Pure Champion. He is a former Rev Pro British Heavyweight Champion. He is the former leader of Bullet Club, a former 2-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion, a former 6-time and first ever NWA TNA X Division Champion, a former 3-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion, a former 2-time TNA World Champion, a former multiple-time United States Champion, a former 2-time Intercontinental Champion, and a former 2-time WWE Champion, and a Grand Slam winner. And if you know his music back in TNA, you'll know who I'm talking about. Get ready to fly! Get ready to fly! He is the phenomenal AJ Styles! Now, for me, this is going to be the match of the night. This one's going to top the main event in my opinion, because these two have never met each other, and it's a first ever meeting. So you know this one's going to absolute slap at on the biggest stage of them all, that is WrestleMania, and we're getting this matchup, and I am extremely excited about it. Now, starting off with Edge first, this is a huge matchup for him. A chance to prove that he is the benchmark of the WWE, and he's looking to show off his new persona. We all saw what happened the night Edge wanted somebody to challenge him, wanted to step up, and AJ Styles stepped up to the game, in which Edge attacked him after he accepted the match for this, or accepted this match for WrestleMania, in which Edge hit not just one-man concerto, but 2 one-man concertos on AJ Styles. And after that, the new Edge showed up. An Edge that's not using You Think You Know Me. It's using a new theme. His entrance is no more pyro. It's just a spotlight of blue and him wearing suits. And I'm just going to say it right now. This reminds me a lot of Evil. The House of Torture Evil. I mean, the fact that he was such a close to a fan favorite in LIJ, then going to Bullet Club, and then changing everything about how he wrestled. He's wrestling by any means necessary. He's using low blows. He's using cheap shots. And I feel like that's what they're going to do with this version of Edge. He's not going to try to win on attrition alone. He'll try to win by any means necessary. Low blow or a ref bump or something, or using a foreign object. I think this Edge is very Evil-esque. But it's a chance to continue this amazing year Edge has had. I mean, he's had some great matches, but he's looking to solidify it here on the grand stage. There inside you have the phenomenal AJ Styles looking to get his revenge against Edge after those 2 one-man concerto shots that he suffered by him, as well as a chair shot on Raw when he was facing Seth Rollins. And this matchup is definitely big. And the fact that AJ Styles is 3-2 at WrestleMania in one-on-one matches, and the fact that his only 2 losses were to 2 Hall of Famers, Chris Jericho and The Undertaker. So AJ hasn't lost a one-on-one match since 2020 in WWE. And the fact that he's already a Grand Slam winner. He's done that in TNA. I think he's done it twice in TNA, and now he did it in the WWE last year when he won the Raw Tag Team titles with Omos. But this is a big matchup for AJ, a chance to knock off another potential Hall of Famer in a huge one-on-one match. So coming from me, in quite possibly the best match on this show, and quite easily one of the matches I think will be the match of the year and the match of the night between these 2 guys who have never met. They're meeting for the first time ever. Ah, man, it's the Spear versus the Styles clash. This one's going to be good. This one's going to be so good. I can just feel it. But coming from me, I'm going to go with the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, to get it done and get his revenge and defeat the Rated R Superstar Edge by any means in a match of the night, match of the year banger. And now, it's time for the main event. It is champion versus champion, title for title, and it's winner take all to determine who will be the undisputed Universal WWE Champion. Starting off with the competitors. First, he is the winner of the Men's 2022 Royal Rumble match, and he is the 145th and reigning, defending, undisputed 7-time WWE Champion, the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. And Brock Lesnar is challenging the 14th and the longest reigning and defending the undisputed 2-time Universal Heavyweight Champion of the world, the leader of the bloodline, accompanied by his business advisor Paul Heyman. He is Roman Reigns. Now this is the 5th one-on-one meeting between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. The series is tied 2-2. So whoever wins this will break the tie and be the undisputed Universal WWE Champion. Now Brock Lesnar's last victory over Roman Reigns happened all the way back at the Greatest Royal Rumble all the way in 2018. So Brock Lesnar has not beaten Roman Reigns in 4 years. And Roman's last victory over Brock Lesnar happened at Crown Jewel of last year. So Roman Reigns knows how to beat Brock Lesnar when it comes to title matches. Now, this matchup is very important because we're going to crown an undisputed Universal WWE Champion. Now, the last time WWE did this with 2 world titles was all the way back at TLC 9 years ago in 2013, when then WWE Champion Randy Orton defeated then World Heavyweight Champion John Cena in a TLC match, in which we saw the crowning of a WWE World Heavyweight Champion. So this has not been done in WWE in a long time. It hasn't been done at WrestleMania. We have seen undisputed champions defend the titles at WrestleMania, i.e. Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 18 against Triple H, and Randy Orton against Batista and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30. But this is the first time they're actually doing a match to unify both belts. But my big question is the fact that WWE is calling this the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. I swear this company caps a hell of a lot to say that. And the fact that they're saying that this is going to be the greatest WrestleMania match of all time, I'm sorry, Austin Rock WrestleMania 17 would have words. Daniel Bryan versus Triple H WrestleMania 30 would have words. Shawn Taker WrestleMania 25 and 26 would have words. The fact that they say this is so funny because it's such a lie. Just like that whole greatest match of all time at Backlash between Edge and Orton in 2020. It was such a stupid statement to say. And once again, WWE is putting their foot in their mouth saying this is going to be the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. We've seen this match 5 times. You think this is going to be the greatest WrestleMania match of all time? WWE needs to stop capping real fast. But the fact that Brock Lesnar has a chance to once again be the Universal Champion, I mean, he regained the WWE title in the Elimination Chamber match in Saudi Arabia, the only 7-time WWE Champion, and the Men's Royal Rumble winner, which gives him a huge advantage, and a chance for Brock Lesnar to do what he's been doing ever since he won the WWE title at day 1. I mean, he is just having fun. We've seen what Brock Lesnar has done with the bloodline on Smackdown. I mean, the forklift into their SUV, him ripping a door off a truck's hinges. I mean, coming into Roman Reigns' locker room this past Friday on Smackdown. The Brock Lesnar we're seeing right now has got to be the most fun I've seen Brock Lesnar have in a long time. I've been watching Brock Lesnar since 2002 in his SmackDown days. He has not had this much fun in years. And a chance to once again be the Universal Champion, to be the first person to defeat Roman Reigns in this Universal title run would be huge. Their side you have the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns looking to continue this amazing, legendary Universal title reign he has had. I mean, think about it, folks. He's been the Universal Champion since Payback of 2020. He's been champ for 2 years. He is on an Okada-level title reign right now in the WWE. And that is hard to admit. And the fact that he is taking on all comers, including Brock Lesnar, and beating them. And a chance to once again try to have Brock Lesnar acknowledge him, which a lot of people, including myself, do acknowledge the Tribal Chief. And of course, he is just taking on all comers. But, I mean, if he wins this match, Roman wins this match, who's going to stop him? They're going to have to split the belts up. This will be a very short unification. Somebody will beat him. And it's going to take somebody like The Rock to come back, hopefully next year at WrestleMania and face Roman Reigns. Because I still think The Rock is the only person I think can beat Roman Reigns and end this Universal title reign. But it's a chance for Roman Reigns to also be the WWE Champion again. He hasn't been WWE Champion since he won the title at WrestleMania in 2016. So it's been a long... WrestleMania 32 in 2016. So it's been a long time since Roman Reigns hasn't been WWE Champion. So coming from me in this winner-take-all matchup in the main event of WrestleMania 38 to determine who will be the undisputed Universal WWE Champion. This one's tough. This one is tough, excuse me. Almost choked on that decision. But this one's tough because I'm loving what Brock Lesnar is doing lately in WWE. But coming from me, I'm going to go with the man that this shirt has been doing since 2020. And that's showing up and winning. So coming from me, I may get this one wrong, but I am going to go with my tribal chief and yours, the Universal Champion Roman Reigns, to retain the Universal title and become the new WWE Champion, as well as the undisputed Universal WWE Champion, and defeat Brock Lesnar in a banger. And those are my WrestleMania 38 2022 predictions. Woo! Now, I do want to thank you guys so very much for watching this video today. Comment below, who do you see winning this huge main event match for the undisputed Universal WWE Championship? Are you Team Brock? Or are you Team Roman? Let me know who you guys got. Who do you see winning that first ever meeting between Edge and AJ Styles? Who do you see winning the SmackDown Women's Championship between Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair? Who do you see winning the Raw Women's Championship between Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch? Who do you see winning between Happy Corbin and Drew McIntyre? Who do you see winning the triple threat match for the Raw Tag Team titles? Who do you see winning between the Shinsuke and Boogs and the Usos? Who do you see winning the Fatal 4-Way for the forgotten WWE Women's Tag Team Championships? Who do you see winning between the Mysterios and Miz and Logan Paul? And who do you see winning between Pat McAfee and Austin Theory? Let me know all of your picks and your opinions in the comment section. Let's have a conversation about it. Of course, I'm always on to see your comment, like it, and of course reply right back to you, because comments and your opinions are absolutely always welcome on this channel. Now, I do want to thank you guys so very much for watching this last video in the month of March on the channel, guys. Again, thank you guys for all the support. I know March was not a big month on the channel. It was more of a resting period for me to get mentally ready for a big month on the channel in the month of April, because we got big videos for New Japan Pro Wrestling's Hyper Attack in Ryogoku Sumo Hall on April the 9th. We got Windy City Riot in Chicago for New Japan Pro Wrestling, which we will see for the first time ever, Jon Moxley versus the Commonwealth Kingpin Will Ospreay. And also April starts the 2022 NBA playoffs. So you already know I'm going to have so much fun doing those videos. So again, thank you guys for all the support. Even though we didn't do a lot of videos in March, thank you guys for sticking around and supporting the channel. And hopefully you guys will continue that, what you guys did in March, all the way into a very big month in the month of April. Now, before you guys go, as always, you guys can never forget to do this. That like button, comment, share with your friends. Of course, super kick that like button like only you guys can. Of course, you guys can never forget to do this as well. That subscribe button, become part of this bigger and dangerous alliance. We are already 1,000 subscribers strong. So again, thank you guys for all the support. And if you guys are not subscribed to the channel yet, what are you guys waiting for? If you're a fan of professional wrestling, when it comes to New Japan Pro Wrestling, All Elite Wrestling, Ring of Honor, and the WWE, and you're a fan of professional sports when it comes to the NBA, the NHL, college football, the NBA, and the NHL, super kick that subscribe button. It's free, folks, and it's free, folks, and and you cannot go wrong with it. Now, and I will see you guys on the first Monday of April, hopefully, for my New Japan Pro Wrestling's Hyper Battle 2022 predictions. Later days, guys. Have a wonderful rest of the week and a wonderful rest of the month. Stay safe. Later days, and peace.